he still didn't raise his hands quite up. And so as they were coming to him, he grabbed the pistol and he shot one of the guys through the chest. And then he threw the pistol down. So they just let him go because he wasn't kind of used to it. If it was later on at the bulge, he would have been dead. But over there, they just picked him up as one of the prisoners. And so, but he didn't die, the man. I thought it was an officer at first, but no, when I talked to him, that wasn't him. I meant that I talked about it with the officer at the reunion, 50th reunion in Washington.
Okay.
So,
so
you want to say something?
No, I was just saying, so this was a German prisoner that was surrendering and that shot one of your guys by surprise, basically. Okay. And do you know... yeah, go ahead.
No, about those prisoners, they really packed them on the trucks. There were so many of them that, well, where they took them, I don't know.
And did this happen on the day of the landing or a few days later? This shooting incident?
That happened like the next day.
Okay.
Next day, the people that were landing from the ocean, from the barges, from the water, they caught up with us. So they took over our front, and we moved up someplace else. Well, and they're looking for. Lieutenant told us that we're looking for volunteers to pick up the women that were with the Germans, and so looking for volunteers, and nobody volunteered.
Okay.
So he says you all go, and then by the time we got together, the partisans, what they call them, I forgot. They picked up all the women, cut their hair off, and parade them through the town. So the lieutenants would forget it. So that was this part, yeah. And later, and then we went back to march through the niche. And I don't know about the cans anymore. Maybe that too. And then we stayed with the St. Martin. That was like in a tourist in a hill. And
yeah.
It's what are we doing over there? We just went patrolling at night, like with a mule loaded. I was at 81 mortars. That was a 7.5 pounds of shell. We were laughing at them. And then, so we loaded the mules, and at night went up to the pass over the border, and we got set up with the mortar and started firing. But there was like a little fortress, and we couldn't. They used to exercise, but that morning, I don't know, they didn't come out, so just started firing at them, and then we just pulled out.
Okay.
Of course.
And
you okay there?
Yeah, it's perfect. And what company were you in the unit?
I was with the 81 Mortars.
Yeah.
That was a headquarters company.
Okay.
We had four guns, and then the headquarters was also a machine gunners. So that's where we were, and we were assisting to anybody who needed help.
Okay. And I know that the heaviest losses that occurred in the unit in southern France, this happened on a little mountain just near Cannes, when the Germans fired a lot of artillery at you guys. But do you remember anything about this, or maybe not? You said you didn't before.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, okay.
What is it?
Heaviest losses in
Cans? No.
No, he didn't have. No.
Okay.
Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah. No, but I mean, in the Battle of the Bulge, the unit was destroyed, but near Cannes, about 10 guys were killed in one night, which was not.
Oh, that.
Well, I think there was, out of 800 men, I think there was 140.
145.
145 men were left in the Battle of the Bulge.
No, and then for the breakfast 5 days later, when we were spearheading the attack at the Bulge, there was 145 show up for breakfast.
Okay.
So there was like a comedy. The cook says, "Well, if you want more, you come on back more."
Okay.
And for breakfast, and because they didn't know how many men would be to come back. So we were not going. We were out in a weather from middle of December and to 8th of January. We never got to go inside a building.
They slept out every night in the snow, and a lot of men got frostbitten feet. And it was really awful.
And so you were one of the lucky ones who got through that without being wounded.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I did.
For frostbitten feet.
Frostbitten feet, but his feet are all right now. But it was really awful.
Okay.
And then there was a interesting thing, funny thing. Like in the middle of December, we were in some French barracks. We finally pull up to the middle of the French, and then half of the battalion was supposed to go to Paris for a week to rest. Well, they were loaded on the trucks, half of them, and they were waiting, just like in the army you always do. And then finally the clerk come over. He says, "Go back to your barracks." He says there was a breakthrough, so you get ready to move out. So they pull out. They brought these trucks. It was like a moving van, and the sides were like about 7 feet high. There was with a metal steel, I guess. So in other words, but the top didn't have no top. So how they load us up is just with all the stuff you had on your back and rifle. You just get inside a van and you stand up against the wall, and another guy just lean right against you, and on the side there is more guys. There is no room to move or nothing. They just load up standing up.
Okay.
And then we went to the Belgium, and that was already dark, and we slept in the woods.
Okay.
So
the part that I'm most interested in is southern France, because that's where I live.
Uh-huh.
And do you remember any other things about the first couple of weeks after jumping into southern France? For example, going through Nice or going to near Monte Carlo, all those places?
no, it wasn't, especially like that.